All right, following up on yesterday's despaghettification, all the stuff I did down here, I repeated throughout the entire preamp. Did not have to replace any more sockets, fortunately. And everything is much better as far as the lead dress. A lot of excess has been removed. A lot of redundant grounds have been removed. Some ground loops have been removed. Wires shortened and moved away from their noisy neighbors wherever possible. You can see that it does have new cathode bypass caps. Since that one had failed, I went ahead and changed all of these just to be sure. And I moved the one on the tremolo from over here, going from the socket to the RCA plug to over here on the board so they have the same ground reference. And over here, I replaced the 680 or 820 ohm resistor. I don't remember, the unbypassed resistor, the cathode for the reverb driver, with a 2.2K bypass with a 22 microfarad. So in that regard, I've AB763'd it. Other than that, it's still the stock circuit, including the pull boost. I'll show you how that sounds later. Down here at this end, I changed the 10 nanofarad input cap to a 3 nanofarad, just to correct the excess bass that this era of Fender circuit often has. I've discussed that before. If this were the AB763, this would be a 1 nanofarad. But because the 1 meg grid leaks changed to 330K, that cap value needs to change scale proportionally, and 10 nanofarad was way too large a value and had excessive flubby bass. Now it sounds much more like its early mid-60s brothers. Over here, the cap that was running from here to here has been replaced with one going from here to here, just a much easier, shorter span, one less thing to go wrong. Other than that, this is all stock. I will probably replace this with a trim pot in series with the resistor to give overall bias level adjustment. But right now it's sounding just fine, and I've got a test pair of JJ6L6s in there. Here in the bias, you can see I changed out that cap for a 47 microfarad, and I've installed some 3-watt 470 ohm grid stoppers, and I've lifted the ceramic disc caps off the output tubes now that the amp's not going to have any oscillation. It does not need oscillation suppression. So powering it up, right now the amp has my test pair of JJs and the bias has not been tweaked. So this is pretty much what you would get, though I do have it on a light bulb limiter just for initial tests. And here is the normal channel. That hum is both single coil noise and because I'm sitting real close to the transformers, but so all that's working great. Now, when I first powered this amp on and tried it through its own speakers, it was horrible. It was distorted. It was only the brightest of the brights and it was very low volume. It just sounded awful. Those speakers are what we like to call in the industry toast. They are pining for the fjords, so we will replace those. But here's the reverb channel with my replacement tank, and again, 60 cycle. So that's nice with no ticking. Let's try the dreaded boost circuit. Very bright, kind of unpleasant, but you know, if you like it, it's there. I don't see a need to remove it. I was looking back at my meters to make sure I hadn't clipped. Well, I gotta say, this circuit sure sounds a lot better in a Vibrolux reverb than it did in some of the other models from this era, such as the Super, and I think a Deluxe reverb I had in with the same thing. One of the things that's really great about the Vibrolux reverb in general seems to be working in that pull boost favor. This output of the amp is potentially 40-something watts, but the output transformer has a capability of only 28 watts. So what happens is everything compresses in a very nice way. If I were a badass telly player, this is the Roy Buchanan sound, and it does that thing. And a lot of that is the output compression. And I think that is making this circuit work better than I've ever heard it. I would say that you do have to change the treble pot location typically. This makes it really bright. So if you use the pull boost, you need to turn down the treble. If you take the pull boost back in to use the standard, you might want to turn the treble up. You know, you'll figure that out. So that kind of thing doesn't suck at all. It still has all the stock tubes. All of them seem to be fine. I don't know if they're stock to the amp, original to the amp, but they're the tubes that came in with. At this point, it needs a pair of 6L6s. I'm going to prettify up the F&T installation in the doghouse. Got to get some new speakers from this thing, and I need to see how the tank in the cabinet sounds. So this is with my test tank. So the reverb circuit is working great. And we'll check how the tank in the cab works and how the foot switch do. But for now, I think this amp's in a really good place. Thanks for watching.